Hello YouTube family and welcome to my channel Luis El Milusos. So I'm coming back to you with that second video with regards to the struts. I showed you that very video with regards to how to remove the rear springs since I was swapping those out. So now I'm removing the struts in order for me to be able to swap out the springs and go back to my stock springs. I've already removed the tire for ease of the video, and I've already loosened all the bolts, so that way it's a lot quicker. Just an explanation. I don't need to explain to you exactly how to loosen it. Just remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. But other than that, everything's pretty much ready to go. So let's get to the nitty gritty. So the wheels came off. That's all I've been doing. And then I took a small ratchet, little extension, and a 10. Right now I don't need the extension, but I do need the 10. Right behind the strut on this 2004 Chrysler PT Cruiser GT, you have a little bolt here, a little bolt on this side for the brake line and for your ground. And what you're going to be doing is you just take your 10. I took this one and loosen this side, remove these two. This bolt goes back in here so I don't lose it, and then the other bolt went back into the section here so I don't lose it. This is already loose. This is a size 15, 15 millimeters on this side, and then you have an 18 on that side, which we have right here. Okay, so here's your 18. I have again, a full size or the big ratchet with a 15 to hold this down. What I do is I hold this one here like this, just position it. Once it's positioned, I hold it down like this. This one is an 18 millimeter, and then this one I'm going to go ahead and go up and loosen it, and that's what I did. I started working my way up like that, so I positioned it, and as soon as it was ready, then I grabbed it and started pulling up. So this gave me the support to go down, this gives me support to go up just before I tap, and then I go back down and then come back up again and try to avoid hitting the top right here. Okay, so that's on this side. The bottom one is actually a size 21. Interesting thing about the bottom one is the bottom one has like a section way at the back that goes in and it presses into the actual hub, so it doesn't let this side spin. So you could just take your breaker bar and do the 21, and then with the 21 you could just give it pressure and it will release only on this side. You don't need to worry about this one. This one's good, this one's ready to go, so that one's loose. This one has the aligning section for your toe, because you have your camber and you have your toe. So this is a camber, actually camber section, or camber bolt adjustment. But in any case, one thing about this bolt in the bottom, you don't want to take it all the way out. You leave it right there in the edge where you can feel that it's nice and smooth. Be careful not to have thread sticking out. So I would just leave it right at the edge where you don't feel any thread. You take your hammer, and if you're good, you're gonna do it without worrying about this line, and if not, you got to be really careful not to hit it. As for your speed sensor. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit this and press it out, but only right there in the edge. If it moves, you need to realign it. There it is. So now that it's loose, I'll come over and I'll loosen this bolt out. And then right before I leave that, I just test it, make sure. There it is. And I'll show you what the bolt looks like here. In order for it to take it out, you're gonna probably have to, that was just a spacer from my rim, but you're gonna have to lift this up or wiggle it to get this out. Here's what I'm talking about. It's got little teeth that go in to the hub, and it doesn't let it spin. It actually is pressed in. So that's why you leave it right at the end, and then you hammer that and you go in, and that way you don't damage these teeth. Because if you had your nut further in, when you're hitting with a hammer, you can actually bend that, and then it's not gonna work anymore. So you gotta be real careful. All right, so that one's out, and then we're gonna finish up this one too. Okay, this one has that section there, and this will go here and tighten depending on where you want it. Okay, so this is for your actual camber. Okay, so your alignment shop would be able to align that. It's smaller on one end and it's kind of lopsided, so when you turn it and adjust it, your camber actually goes in and out so that your wheel can be aligned. Okay, so this section's done. Okay, that's it. That's your strut. On the top, we have, you're gonna need a size 13. It could be either a little one or a long one, and this is important. You need your swivel. Okay, you're gonna need your half-inch swivel, your 3/8 swivel. You're gonna need that because the way that that third bolt is right up here, if you come on this side, you're gonna have your solenoids here, your turbo solenoids. So your shock, if you can see on this end, there's 3 bolts. One end, one here, and one here. On this side, it's exactly the same, but they're reversed. This one's on that side. So it'll be below, right underneath here. So I took that little 10 with the extension that I was showing you. It could be long or it could be a short extension. You take this right here for the solenoid. You're gonna take 2 little bolts, and it's right in here, if you see it. One here and one here. So there's 2. Already off for ease of the video. That loosens this up so that we can move it around. Then what I did is I went ahead and took the swivel, and the swivel portion you need because as you're going in, so I have my ratchet and I have my little extension here, right? So the bolt is kind of hiding behind, kind of underneath this section of the firewall. So I have to angle it to get to where I need to go, and then you need that little bit of a turn so you can turn it, and then now it'll start spinning and it'll be turning. So that's already been done. Now, the one in the center, you move this around a little bit, and if you move it right in here, you just stick your hand in and move the little wires out of the way, these connectors out of the way, and you'll be able to slide this in between and line it up into your thing. So for this one, I'll remove my swivel because I don't want it swiveling. So I'll just have it straight like this. I'll go in, find it, and then be able to align it and then turn it. Finally, this last one, you'll be able to move this out of the way a little bit and go in here like this, and then turn it and get it loose. So as you can see, the strut is already kind of falling off a little bit because everything's kind of off. So I'll stick my hand down here and hold it. I want to say this one's done too. So that's number 2, and then I just need number 3, which will be down here. So take your hand, hold it down here from falling, and then just spin to where it's gonna loosen it up, and then you're done. So come on down here again. So those 3 are done. Your actual strut is loose now. Watch your speed sensor cable, and then bring this down. Here's your strut assembly. And so you can go to the auto parts store and get a strut compressor. You need to compress this with an actual, I recommend a compressor itself, because this is with like a gun, with a hydraulic gun or air gun. Very rare you're gonna actually be able to loosen it just like that. If you are, be very careful, because once you get past a certain number of threads, this thing can actually pop up and the spring can actually release and hurt you. So be careful with this. Make sure it's nicely compressed before you even try that. Or the way I do it, as I just find a shop, it's about 20-25 bucks, the cheapest way, and they take care of it. They put it in the little machine they have, and then they compress. They do this with their compressor, and then they take care of that, and you don't risk any injury. So for 20 bucks, 25 bucks is worth it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these over to the tire shop, have them mount the new spring, and then once they mount the new spring, what you do is you come in here, you've got your 3 lined up. So you're gonna go in this hole right here. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and take this in here and line it up. Okay, watch your speed sensor cable. So once you pass that, you're gonna line that in. You come up top. You can actually see where they're coming in from being up here. And just be patient. Don't rush it. There it is. So now they're in. Once they're in, you take one of your bolts or your nuts and you tighten it. So if you put this in here and you turn it, then once it's turned, it's gonna hold it so it doesn't fall. And then you can release it from the bottom, you let go from the bottom, and then you line this up on the bottom. So let's say I already put the ones at the top, then this one just goes back in. This can turn and it goes in. You can play with this. And then again, your bolt goes this way. The other one, you can see where the little teeth are right there, the little lines. So you take your top one goes in, your bottom one goes in. So that's how you remove and reinstall your struts, to either get new struts or just simply replace the lowering spring or back to your factory spring. So I hope that video helps you. It's pretty easy, pretty cut and dry, a few bolts here and there. So for everything, if you're not worried about recording, give yourself a couple of hours, grab a beer,
I don't know, just a cold drink, soda, water, whatever you choose to drink, lemonade, whatever it is, and just relax. Give yourself time. Always plan a half a day. If anything takes you 2 hours, give yourself a half a day. If something were to take you, a few hours, give yourself, a whole day. So things like that. Always extra time. You never know what could go wrong. Interruptions, that kind of stuff. So make sure that you are, just giving yourself ample time and talk to your vehicle. Your vehicle is gonna work well for you if you listen to the bolts, if you listen to how tight they are, or if they're not gonna go real tight. Have a breaker bar, have something if you can't loosen it because they're super tight, things like that. So always plan accordingly and have your tools. So again, you need a size 10 socket, you need a size 13 socket, you're gonna need a size 5/8, a size 18, and a size 21. You're gonna need a hammer. And you're gonna need, I recommend always a breaker bar or maybe a pipe so that you can put over your ratchet so gives you more torque. Other than that, I think you're in good shape, and hope that the video works. Quick mentioning is on the opposite end of the driver's side, you don't have these solenoids, so it's gonna be a lot easier because the bolts are exposed and you're gonna be able to see them real quick, and it'll be nice and easier than this one. So if you can get through this one, driver's side will be a breeze. Once again, thank you. Hit like and subscribe. God bless, and take care, everyone. Luis El Miluso signing off.